Well, guys, today we are in for quite an interesting review. Hi, everyone, it's me, Gaming Do, and today we are doing another Loud House review. And in today's review, we are going to be reviewing the episode Intense Debate. So, the general consensus for this episode is honestly, I think this is a pretty disliked episode. I don't think it's absolutely despised like something like Brawl in the Family or No Such Luck or anything, but generally I think the consensus is that people kind of dislike this episode. Well, in my opinion, I wouldn't say I dislike it, but I wouldn't say I anywhere near like it. It's kind of in the middle for me. And I haven't done a Loud House review in a while where the review is going to be pretty much just medium. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't really like it. And we'll get into the reasons why now. So the episode is basically about the Loud family is going to go on a vacation to Scratchy Bottom Campground, but none of the siblings really want to go, so Lincoln tries to convince his parents by convincing them to go to either Aloha Beach or Dairyland. And they say it's fine, but they didn't clarify on which place, Aloha Beach or Dairyland. Half the sisters want to go to Aloha Beach. Honestly, I'd say I would too, because I kind of like amusement parks, but they're not my favorite thing in the world, and I I'm gonna sound like a real pussy when I say this, but in some ways I am kind of scared of big roller coasters. I don't know why. I just get nervous every time I go by them. I don't know why. When I go on them, I have the blast, but every time I go, even on like carnival rides, I get kind of nervous. So I would say Aloha Beach would be my choice because I love the beach. I'm going down to the beach in my state in just about a week, and it's a beautiful beach with a beautiful coastline. It's just amazing, and that's why I would pretty much pick the beach over Dairyland. But the thing is, Lincoln can decide which one he wants to go to, Aloha Beach or Dairyland. So basically, the sisters pamper him to make him decide which one he wants to go to. So, like Lori, Lenny, Lucy, Lola, and Lily try to convince him to go to the beach by giving him all sorts of cool beach stuff. While Luna, Luann, Lynn, Lisa, and Lana try to convince him to go to Dairyland by, like, I don't know, they push on his chair to make it like a roller coaster and stuff like that. But then Lola, that little conniving little frick, decides that maybe if she showed Lincoln the bad parts of Dairyland, he'd want to go to Aloha Beach. Then the sisters who want to go to Dairyland see this, and they basically do the same thing. And I kind of did this in the opposite order, but who cares? So then basically the sisters keep arguing and they confront each other about them trying to trick Lincoln, and it all comes down to them blaming Lincoln, and then Lincoln comes up with the idea that they should ultimately go to Scratchy Bottom Campground, which at first the siblings hate, but then it turns out they love it because basically Lincoln gets to be their servant for that whole vacation. Alright, so let's get on to the positives first. I think this episode is kind of funny. There's a fair amount of jokes in this episode that made me laugh. Especially the whole bathroom line joke, and when Lincoln says the bathroom is basically out of order towards the end, That joke got me laughing. I also like the scary version of Tipsy the cow, which Lucy dressed up as. That made me laugh. Um, Weirdly enough, this is gonna sound weird, but because I'm kind of an outdoorsy guy, I like the whole atmosphere of the Scratchy Bottom campground. I find it very relaxing and very peaceful, kind of, and I know that's kind of weird for me to say, but because I'm kind of an outdoorsy person, I really like that. And what else do I like? I like the ways the sisters kind of help out Lincoln and treat him and pamper him. They're kind of cool, and it shows that they can be nice to Lincoln. And that's kind of about it for the positives. If I had any more to say, I would say, um, really, I don't really have any more positives. So let's get on to the negatives. Lincoln is kind of a prick in this episode. Not as much as something like making the case, but him taking advantage of his sisters is not exactly what I'd call. I don't know. It's not exactly what I'd call being a good brother. It's taking advantage of the sisters, basically treating them like they're your servants, but they're not. They're just trying to be nice to you. And honestly, Lincoln is a pretty big problem with this episode because at times he is very annoying in this episode. Are the sisters annoying in this episode? A little bit. I'll blame them too because the ways they try to convince Lincoln not to go to the other side with all the mean ways, such as the Aloha Beach sisters deciding basically to make him sick by simulating a ride, and then the sunscreen turns out to be some chemicals that Lisa gives him. That's not exactly what I'd call nice. It's actually kind of... No, it's not actually kind of. It's really being, excuse my French, an asshole. So, there is a little bit of mean spirit in this episode, and while it doesn't infuriate me like it does in something like Brawl in the Family, Sleuth or Consequences, or Making the Case, it is kind of annoying to the point where this isn't really that good of an episode because of it. Also, as much as I think Lincoln kind of deserves what he got at the end with serving the sisters, I think maybe the sisters didn't deserve it at the same time because they kind of treated Lincoln like shit too. So I think maybe what they could have done is serve the parents instead. I don't know, it's just a thought of mine. But yeah, that's about it for this review. This is a kind of short review again, a little bit longer than the last review, but we still gotta do the outro and the rating. So, ultimately, what am I gonna rate Intense Debate? Intense Debate, in my opinion, is a pretty average episode. It has a lot of funny moments, but it has a bit of mean spirit. That's why ultimately I'm gonna give Intense Debate a 5 out of 10. I think a lot of people give this a little bit of shit, like it's a really bad episode, but honestly, I don't think it's all that bad. I think it's okay. It has some funny moments, but it also has moments that just are pretty mean. But not mean to the point of like Brawl in the Family or Sleuth or Consequences or something. Alright, so that's it for this review. I hope you like my review of Intense Debate. My next video should finally be the next GD Plush video. That should be out probably in the next 3 or 4 days. But the next Loud House review, probably the most famous episode of the entire series. L is for Love. And I will review that in the next episode, guys. Gaming Do here. See you later. Bye.